Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I still remember the first time I heard about the concept of somebody binge watching something, except we didn't have a word for binge watching at the time. What had happened was I had a classmate in college. This was in the mid 2000s. He had downloaded several seasons of South Park illegally from, I think it was LimeWire or Kazaa, and he had waited a long time for the files to download. This was in 2004, 2005 when we were using dial-up internet. And it finally came, and he was so excited. And he canceled plans on me last minute. He told me he was going to go home and watch the entire season of South Park without taking a break. And so he was all ready for it. He had all his supplies, and he was just going to sit in front of the TV and watch South Park for a whole weekend, almost like it was a COVID quarantine, right? I think we even joked that if there was some kind of disaster outside, he was ready for that. We never thought there would be a pandemic. We were thinking something like a hurricane or something where he had to shelter up, right? Some kind of wildfire or something like that. We never in our minds did it cross our minds there would be a pandemic. Well, he left class on a Friday afternoon, and he was all excited to go home. And on Monday, when I saw him, he had sores all over his body from sitting in front of his television set watching South Park. This was back in 2004, long before the concept of binge watching ever came to mind. We were still, if I remember correctly, if you went to the video store, half of it was VHS tapes and the other half was DVDs. We didn't have Blu-rays yet. We didn't have streaming. I think at the time, if you used Netflix, it was to have DVDs or even VHSs mailed to you, if I remember correctly. I used to love to watch reality TV, Survivor, and I would videotape it on VHS tapes. Like a whole season of Survivor could be 3-4 videotapes high, and that's if you recorded on the lowest quality. If you wanted to use higher quality, it could have been 20 tapes, if I remember correctly. And so that was his binge watching. Well, unfortunately, I have to eat my words. I'm feeling kind of sore now, in large part because I was at a meetup group, and there was a distant cousin of Mary Curry. And unfortunately, as I got to talking to her, I quickly discovered that she had the same kind of sexuality as Mary Curry during the second half of her life. And after talking to her, I discovered that her sister might be interested in me. And so last night, I decided to binge watch a ton of videos about tips on first dates. There's a lot of videos on YouTube these days. I wish you could see how many dislikes some of those videos were getting. See which ones actually work, which ones don't. What I really love is I was going through the comments, and there were comments from other guys in there who were literally watching this while they were waiting for a girl to show up at the restaurant. And that was really nice, that I wasn't alone in the binge watching. But it brought back memories of my classmate downloading South Park from LimeWire and watching it until he was sore. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.